Chocolate Man is back. I signed the contract and I bought a plane ticket on the 21st. I'm gonna be in the Netherlands. And yeah, on the 23rd, I'm gonna start working. Although I wanna talk about, let's drink some chocolate first. Ooh. I wanna talk about decision making frameworks because people don't understand. Like, I've been in these kinds of situations before, and they don't understand how I can move so fast and move things and make things happen super, super fast. And it is because I was a project manager. And as a project manager, you learn that there are two ways of doing things. There is a crisis management solution and a preventative management solution. And in the crisis management solution, which I was extremely good at, you start moving things around and seeing all kinds of options and start pursuing even the most crazy options that you can so that one of the solutions gets resolved. So you get everyone involved, you get everything, all the doors open, just so you can let that fire just go away. Hopefully, it just goes away in a certain solution. So that's the crisis management. And it from the outside, it looks like you're an amazing manager because you are putting out fires left and right and left and right. But it also doesn't mean you are a great manager. You are a good manager, a great manager, an amazing manager. No, a good manager is a preventative manager. So no, a great manager is a preventative manager because a preventative manager foresees the issues that can arise and solves them beforehand so the fire doesn't start. So they have an extinguisher in the house and things like that. You understand what that means. Um, an amazing manager has both of them. Like, that's the only way to be an amazing manager. You have to be quick on your feet when it comes to a crisis and also move super nicely thinking about the future. You have to hold those things together because that's exactly how our brain works. The right hemisphere deals with the bigger picture and the left hemisphere deals with the small details. So that's exactly what happens in these kinds of situations. The left side of your brain will deal with the fires and the day-to-day problems that arise, and the right hemisphere deals with how can we make this process not so cumbersome, make it easier and more streamlined so that problems don't arise. And usually, I treat everything as a project and I take about 10 to 20 minutes before or during the project to make sure that I know the worst things that can happen. And the second thing is after I've done that, because that would be just negative thinking, it wouldn't lead to anything. I try to find the best two or three solutions that I can take and start opening those doors. Like, for instance, just a few weeks ago, I was looking for jobs. Like a few months ago, I was applying for jobs on a cruise ship because that was an opportunity that I could get paid that was quite good compared to the business that I had. And plus, I could also pursue the business that I had because I already had so many courses. So I was starting to open up a bit more solutions. Not, I wasn't really there. I didn't really want to do it. For instance, to the jobs that I saw abroad, I didn't apply to any of them. I was tempted to apply, but I didn't. I actually pressed on two jobs, apply, but I was too lazy to put on all the details on. And when the bad news came 3 days ago, keep in mind, I'm already having a work contract and a plane ticket 3 days after the bad news. I've moved so fast because I looked at the jobs beforehand. I knew where to go, what I needed to do, what kind of process do I need to take to apply. And I applied to many jobs. This morning, actually, I got a phone call from another company trying to hire me in another country as a airport operator something in Germany, in Frankfurt to be more exact. That would have been a better job, but unfortunately I didn't have the papers. So I looked at the job. I actually applied to the job as well, and they called me, and I needed to prove the last 5 years of my employment, and I couldn't because, well, I was unable to do so. I could prove about 4 years, and I didn't need, like, the point was that I had to not have a gap in the work thing, but I had huge gaps. But I did have my business, which could basically tell them, like, look, I've been working on my business for the last 5 years, 4 years, not five. If it was five, I could apply. And it was a better job, better paying job. And I was almost going for it, but I was like, what papers do I need? And I asked the person, and they said, and I was like, okay, I cannot. I already signed with this other company. Like, right at the same time they called me. So that was interesting. That's just because I applied to 6 or 7 jobs the first day the next day that it happened, and the next day after the bad news. And so you open all kinds of possibilities. Like, another possibilities is for the company that I'm going to work for. I go ahead, after I applied for that company, I actually went on LinkedIn, even though I didn't apply on LinkedIn, and I looked at how many people work there in the company and what do they do when they, like, I look at the history of the company to see what kind of company it is, and I look at how many people of the same nationality as me work there, or I look at what the founder is. What the founder is. I found the founder. I documented myself about him. I looked at his son, who works for the company as well. And yeah, now I know the CEO. So if the CEO, because that happened to me before, the CEO visited the workplace and I knew him, and I got a bit of brownie points for that. Like, he was amazed that I knew the CEO, because he visited multiple workplaces because he had it was a placement company. So they were renting out employees. I was one of them. And it's very common in Europe because it's a bit less liability for the big corporation, and they can lie on their, not lie, technically they're telling the truth. They don't have as many employees because stock owners, they look at revenue per employee. And if you have less employee, but you borrow employees, you can tell them that that's outsourcing something. It's outsourcing. It's not really employees. So you don't have a lot of overhead. So yeah, it makes the stocks seem a bit more appealing. So the point is that now I got to look at the structure of the company, how many people work there, how many jobs they have, how many things they have. Maybe I have an opportunity to work for them directly. That would be nicer, because I think that they offer on-site and remote work for recruitment. So that would be nice. I think that I could be doing that. And yeah, that could be interesting to just work remotely. And I was kind of looking for remote work because it would be nice to have some remote work, but unfortunately it's kind of difficult because most of the remote work that I can get, because I don't have a lot of experience, I do have a lot of experience, but not in the right things, not in the areas that can give me remote work. So the point that I'm trying to make is that decision making is about thinking what are the problems that can arise, finding some solutions to that, opening all the doors either before things happen or implementing systems that can make sure that those problems don't arise. And I do have systems for that. I do have checkups, like checklists for things, but sometimes fires happen, things can happen. Unfortunate events can happen. Like, for instance, I got blind in one eye, and well, technically blind. It's actually legally blind, but I cannot say it's legally blind because it's not in both eyes. If I had it in both eyes, I would be legally blind. So, and also legally stupid. No. So that was an unfortunate event that I had to deal with. I dealt with it. Unfortunately, there aren't any good solutions except time. And fortunately, it got better. I don't have that dot black anymore. It's translucent but very hazy. So it's improving a little bit. I don't only have peripheral vision in my eye, I also have a little bit of vision in the center. I have a central scotoma. It sounds bad, it's just dead cells on your retina. Yeah. And Sophie told me, I need to pee. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go outside and probably going to go a little bit shopping. And just like that, another beautiful day is over. And I got to thinking so much about things and about my hatred of corporations. I have to turn this timer off because I just meditated for 1 hour. Hopefully I will be able to keep up this channel and the other channel while I am working, because it's gonna have a little bit of logistical problems due to the fact that I will have a roommate and some housemates. And yeah, filming space is not really that easily accessible when you have roommates and well, one roommate. But yeah, probably gonna find a way to make it work and do it every single day. At least this video, it's much easier because I just have to put the camera somewhere, start speaking and enjoying what I say. And it doesn't really take that much time, but the meditations take a bit more time, and they do basically put a spotlight on me. They people start to ask a lot of questions when you are meditating, especially if they never saw anybody meditate before and they don't understand it. And people, when they don't understand something, they judge it and they make their own opinions, because why would they take your opinions on the matter when they can make up their own mind about it? Anyways, hopefully I just get a nice roommate who understands and I can film. Thank you for watching and see you tomorrow. Oh, I forgot. I actually filmed and finished the last course. And with that being said, I actually surpassed my goals for this year, and I'm gonna surpass my savings goals because I'm gonna work abroad, and that's gonna be a huge bump into my savings. So that's gonna be interesting, even though I was feeling like a failure today because of the unfair treatment that I got from the outside world. And taking a step back and going back to a job really feels like I'm downgrading my position that I worked so hard to maintain and also to keep up. And the business that I worked, I'm still earning money from it, but I cannot grow it for the next 5 months, which is really frustrating. So I'm still happy, but yeah, there are good things that are happening because of the work. I'm going to be able to save quite a bit of money. If I work 3 months, I'm almost at the point where I can have a deposit for a studio apartment. And if I work 4 months, I'm going to have more than I need to have a studio apartment, basically a down payment for a studio apartment. That's it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one tomorrow.